Greetings, I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Officine Panerai. Today, I'll be your guide to the proper usage, care, and maintenance of your Panerai Radiomir 1940 equation of time 8 days in stainless steel. It's important to note that this is a manually wound timepiece with an 8-day power reserve, and as you wind it, you can follow the progress of the multiple mainspring barrels via the caseback power reserve indicator. You can also use this to monitor the power reserve of the watch if it sits in a rotation of timepieces within your collection. To wind the timepiece, first, thread the crown out from its position flush to the case. This is a screw-down crown that helps the watch to attain a superb water resistance of 100 meters, exceptional within the industry for this type of high horology complication. Now, once the crown pops, you'll feel the detent. Then you can begin to turn in a clockwise direction. Approximately 30 turns are sufficient to start the movement, but continue winding until you feel a point of markedly increased resistance. Now, at this point, you'll note that the caseback power reserve indicator will indicate 8. Once you meet resistance, this is the time to stop winding, as attempting to force the wind past this point will overload the mainspring barrel and damage the movement. The watch features an equation of time indication with an attendant date and month of the year indication, unlike, for instance, an equation of sunrise-sunset, which depends on the date and longitude of the owner. An equation of time properly set to the correct date and month is correct on all parts of the globe. To set the equation of time, the crown is pulled to an intermediate position between winding and the outermost position, which moves the hour and minute hands in sync. The intermediate position allows you to advance the hour hand independently. Now, this can be used when traveling to jump forward or backwards within time zones, but it's also used as the mechanism by which you advance the date, and by advancing the date, advance the month. All 12 months of the year are represented by the month subdial next to the date. For instance, January is next to December, June is next to July, September is next to October. And when you have the correct month and date set, the equation of time indication at 6 o'clock will clearly describe the difference between a solar day and a mean civil day. The difference here is essentially the difference between civil noon and true noon. True noon is the point at which the sun is directly overhead. Civil noon is the average of all times within, for instance, the bounds of a meridian, describing one time zone of the world. So there's going to be a variance that could be anywhere between 0 and up to 15 minutes between the length of a civil day and a solar day, and that is what the equation of time indication describes. The watch also features a unique setting system whereby when the crown is pulled to extremity, not only does it hack the balance, stopping the beat of the timepiece, but it also resets the sub-seconds dial precisely to the index at 60, and thereby makes it far easier to set the watch precisely to the minute and the second against a known accurate reference time such as an atomic clock. Now, once the watch has been wound and set, it's important to screw down the crown, because herein lies the first of 3 important handling restrictions pertaining to water, magnetism, and shock. Water should be addressed first because it is the single greatest threat to a mechanical timepiece. Now, the watch is rated to 100 meters water resistance, but the first caveat is that no leather strap is water resistant. Leather is a natural porous material that degrades rapidly in the presence of moisture, and it should always be swapped out for a textile or a rubber strap before taking the watch into water. Moreover, the 100-meter water resistance of the watch is only attained when the crown is threaded in completely and flush to the case, as threading the crown out or threading it out and using any of its functions can severely bypass the seals. Severe bypass of the seals may introduce movement water, which essentially eats the watch from the inside out. Movement water becomes dial water, becomes a greenhouse, becomes a massive repair bill. So make all precautions possible to avoid exposing the interior of your watch to water. While that may mean foregoing use of the crown functions when there's water on the case or when it's submerged and keeping the crown flush to the case, it also entails treating water resistance as a state of flux that is not a static feature of the watch. Water resistance degrades over time as seals age and lubricants dry up, so Panerai recommends on a yearly basis having the watch water tested before the aquatic season begins, thereby ensuring that the factory-rated hermeticity is still intact before submerging the watch. It's also important to note that magnetism is the silent killer. While it will not permanently damage the watch, a magnetized hairspring, which is the heartbeat, the center of the balance of the watch, and truly its regulating organ, will cause erratic timing. A magnetized hairspring can be demagnetized at a factory-authorized service center, such as a factory boutique or independent authorized retailer. Now, it's important to note that magnetism comes in many forms, many of them unexpected, such as the magnetic closures on packages, purses and wallets, high-powered wiring looms in the home and office, refrigerator doors, speakers and subwoofers, and of course MRI equipment. Keep the watch remote from all of these. And again, if magnetized, take to an authorized retailer. Finally, shock is an important consideration because a mechanical timepiece is a finely balanced machine. Owners should forego exposing their watch, that is, wearing their watch, during activities such as firearms marksmanship, batting, tennis, and golf, but also during severe impact activities such as rough motorcycling, dirt biking, and mountain biking. Finally, with respect to service, Panerai advises having the watch checked mechanically every time you bring it in for its annual water test. This will ensure that an authorized representative of factory service has a complete chance to evaluate the chronometric precision, water resistance, hermeticity, and overall condition of your timepiece, thereby being able to make an annual recommendation of whether to forego service or to immediate resort to an authorized service center. Now, an authorized service center uniquely has the trained personnel, specialized equipment, and original factory replacement parts to ensure that the integrity of your timepiece, both as an instrument and as an investment, are both retained. Moreover, only authorized independent service centers and factory authorized stores have the ability to endow work performed with a Panerai original factory service warranty. If you want to know everything there is to know about caring for your Panerai Radiomir 1940 Equation of Time 8 days, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and text, email, or call our experts who will walk you through every phase of the ownership, care, and handling of this or any Panerai watch.